Hello, and welcome to the W. Mason Coach Report with head men's basketball coach Joe Mihalich. Welcome, Coach.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Coach, team's off to a 6-2 start this season, a perfect 2-0 week last week. Just your overall assessment of the week and the team as it stands right now.
It was a good week. I mean, it's we got another Atlantic 10 road win, which is something to be proud of. It's not easy to get any kind of road win. Then we had a win in the Garden, and there's only one Madison Square Garden, so it was really cool to be there. I truly believe that being there was the motivation we needed to win that game because we didn't have one of our better efforts, especially on one end of the floor.
Let's take it one game at a time. The LaSalle game, like you mentioned, went 84-80 over LaSalle, overcome an incredible game from Jordan Price of LaSalle. What was the difference in that game to put you guys on top?
Well, I thought that just our balance was just so good. I mean, Wanya didn't even have a great game as far as shooting the basketball, but of course he's always such an incredible floor general. He gets everybody else the ball. But I'm losing track. I think we had 5 or 6 guys in double figures, correct? Six guys in double figures. So the balance, the fact that we can get you one way or another. You got to pick your poison with us because we can shoot it a little bit and we have some front court guys that can score. If you wanted to really put me on the spot and say name one guy that might have been the difference, maybe it was Rokas Kostis who had a really good game.
Yeah, a couple of late blocks defensively. Wanye really stopped Price the last few possessions, and Denton Kuhn, I believe, had a block late, and I think even Brian Bernardi played to stop late. So some really strong defensive efforts late in that game.
Yeah, you know what, you're right, and that was something we hadn't been doing all game, so to do it at the end was important.
You don't like to talk about personal milestones, but we'd be wrong if we didn't bring it up. That win was also your 300th of your coaching career. To do it last week at your alma mater, at the place where you coached for 17 years, and then we'll get to the next morning, what happened the next morning, but was that almost surreal that it ended up being there on that day?
Yeah, you wouldn't, it's a little bit of a TV movie kind of thing, right? All the things you mentioned, and then I don't know why you wouldn't mention that my grandson was born.
I said that I was going to get
I know you were going to say that. So within the span of about 5 or 6 hours, all those things happened because my grandson was born at 2 o'clock in the morning. So, like I said, a little bit of a TV movie thing. You feel a little guilty that all those nice things would happen to you. Any one of them, you feel almost so guilty. It was such a wonderful thing. But it's a lot of wins. But I think a couple thoughts. You think about the guys that have 700, 800, 900. It's just those are staggering figures. And I can think of a couple each year that probably should have won. So maybe it should have happened 30 or 40 games ago.
Did you have a ton of family and friends at the game? And I'm sure many texts after the game.
Yeah, that was all that was.
Speedy Morris was at the game.
And I wanted to get a picture with Speedy Claxton and Speedy Morris, but I couldn't get the two of them together. The two Speedies in my life. But yeah, it was wonderful. It was really nice, and it's obviously, and you hear coaches say this, but it's the truth. It's from the heart. It's when you have a lot of really good players and good people that you work with and work for and so forth. It's some nice things can happen.
And then, as you mentioned, the next morning at 2 a.m. you have your first grandchild, Matthew Charles.
Matthew Charles.
Your
I was kidding Speedy. Speedy thought it might have been Matthew Charles after Jenkins. He wondered why it wasn't Matthew Craig after him, but it's really Charles is my son Matt's father-in-law. So,
well, congratulations on a great week. And then Sunday, like you mentioned, we went to the Garden, beat Appalachian State 86-80. Rokas Kostis, Brian Bernardi really had solid games. Can you talk about their efforts?
Yeah, well, offensively, we weren't great, but we were good when we had to be good. But we just have to do a much better job. Defensively is a little more of a sense of purpose. Defensively, I wouldn't be upset if we weren't more capable. But I hope we're more capable of being better defensively. And but what do they say? Ugly wins are better than pretty losses, and that was we'll take an ugly win anytime.
Your non-conference schedule is featured 4 neutral site games, 4 road games, and 4 home games. Your next one, you take your 3-game win streak on the road again to Siena. Let's talk about, obviously, you have a long history against Siena from your time at Niagara. Difficult place to play. Just talk about the opponent.
It's a great place to play. Colin Curtin has been with me forever. With the two of us, and we're real excited to go there. It's our favorite place to go. Now, that doesn't mean you can win there. It's the toughest place to win. But it's a great arena. There's going to be it'll be the best atmosphere we played in all year long. They'll have a lot of fans there. Jimmy Patos is an exciting coach who is great for the game, and his team's very, very good.
Yeah, they beat Manhattan badly. Did lose to St. Peter's over the weekend, but they're very impressive, some of their games this year.
They've got a little guy, Wright, who's a terrific scorer, and we haven't done a great job of limiting the other team's best player. I mean, Jordan Price gets 37, the guy from App State gets 38, so I hope this guy doesn't get 39.
And then following this game, you take your break for finals. How does a coach manage that long break in the middle of the season, heading into the Stony Brook game on the 20th?
Well, it's good for our guys because we've had all these road games. It's good to take a step back. I mean, you need it for exams. You need it. So, give us a chance to get in the weight room a little bit more because, we need that. We need to get in that weight room a little bit more. Give us a chance to get another extra day or two off and, kind of regroup a little bit. So it's a good break. Everybody goes through it and we'll still try to keep with our pattern of the 3 days on, 1 day off type situation.
Well, Coach, good luck at Siena on Wednesday, and then we'll talk to you again next week.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
And thank you for joining us on the W. Mason Coaches Report.